Lauren Schiffers. There we go.
Great, good morning. Today we are having our regular meeting of the Albany Municipal Water Finance Authority. It is Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. It is 7:52.
Oh, my apologies. That's the delay. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. We're beginning our board meeting. Welcome to our new board member, Noel Kinch. I'm Kaylee Owens, the chairperson. We have Michael Whalen, the vice chair, and Julie Morris, our treasurer, here as well. We are going to start to approve the minutes of our last regular meeting, January 29th, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. I don't believe we have any public comment. Great. Bill Kahn, do you want to take us through your rate advisor report?
Yes, we're going to talk about the rebate today. And for those that like to do heavy reading, the rebate report relates to the concept of arbitrage. And arbitrage occurs with the authority in that we borrowed money and it took us, well, we borrowed the money in the year 2000 and we issued bonds. And those bonds, the bigger portion of the bonds were refinancing existing debt. So we didn't end up with money. We simply, like a refinancing of a house. But we also borrowed $25 million to do capital projects over what was expected to be 3 years. And arbitrage occurs when a tax exempt issuer, like the authority, so we don't pay, people who buy our bonds do not pay federal income tax. And so what happens is when we issue those and they're issued at a specific rate, but we earn more than that because we haven't spent the money yet. We're continuing to spend the money. In fact, today I'm guessing there's probably $1 million left of the 25. That difference we made because of the interest rate game. And the federal government requires us to rebate to them that money. So there's a company that does it. They're called AMTAC. They're in Connecticut. They issued this report on the $20 million. And there is a rebate due of 90%. I'm on page 4. The actual what's called yield reduction liability or the rebate is 163,000, but for whatever reason, when Congress implemented this requirement, you only pay 90% of it. So we have to rebate to the federal government 146,000. And if you look at the last couple pages of this report, you'll see this is a regular IRS form. It looks like every other IRS form. It's called an 8038T. And this is the form. There's only a few numbers on it. And we have to give that to them by late April or early May. And that's how it works. But I'll be happy to answer any questions. The report is done by an actuary. You'll see there's all kinds of computations in there that for them to come up with that number because they're matching yields that we earn against the limitation. And but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No. question.
Okay. And for those that are really into this, this is a little 5-page report or 5-page on arbitrage 101.
Excellent.
So you might find that interesting.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my report.
Delightful. It's a light reading for a Thursday.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beth.
Perfect.
Lovely. All right, Acting Commissioner Simcoe, what do you got?
Okay, so over the last 12 years, we've been working on requirements of Department of Environmental Conservation, of dam safety, and we had engineering evaluation of our dams, and then we had requirements to do some dam safety improvements. And we did some improvements to at the Alcove Reservoir, and right now their alcove is all set. We had to make some improvements with the low level outlet. But the Basic Creek Reservoir had a deficiency, and Rensselaer Lake 6 Mile Waterworks has a deficiency. And so we've been progressing with engineering evaluations, alternatives analysis, and we finally gotten to the point where we have a design and we're ready to move ahead with regulatory reviews of the design and permitting with Corps of Engineers and DEC in regard to those things. So we managed to get through DEC $2.5 million grants, one for Basic Creek Reservoir and one for Rensselaer Lake. And we had in the intended use plan with Environmental Facilities Corp, we had placeholders to go after financing. Now we're intending to go after the financing, but years have gone by since we did some initial bond resolutions. So we needed to modify the bond resolutions to reflect current costs. So each of these supplemental resolutions is identifying as an attachment A what the current estimated cost is of the projects, which are a little bit over $11 million for each. And we're doing a bond resolution for the total project amount. We haven't actually signed these grant agreements yet with DEC. We're hoping that all go through. Okay, but DEC likes to see that you've got you're able to do the whole project. They don't like to give a grant and you can't move ahead. So we have a whole process that Shannon and Hodgson Russ as our bond counsel helps us with, where we have to go through a modification of a financing agreement, which is a 3-way agreement with the water board, the finance authority, and the city. So we're planning now, as with these resolutions, to go ahead with setting a public hearing, and then we'll get an advertisement in the Times Union. And then after that public hearing, we can then go to the common council and get the common council schedule, get approval from the common council for the mayor to sign a financing agreement. So it takes a bit of time to go through this process. Then we'll have our bond resolutions, which we need to have in place to close NEFC financing. So that's my long-winded explanation.
I thought it was pretty short.
Yeah.
And we have a public hearing. The public hearing that we have coming up is not about this though, isn't it?
This would be the public hearing
This is the
that we're
public.
scheduling,
Okay.
and we're just trying to figure out
When?
if we get that to the Times Union right away, what's the earliest we could
Got
have that.
Okay.
In May. What was Shannon? What date?
I think if we put it in today, it'll get published as early as Monday, so May 7th or 8th.
Okay. All right. All right, Laura, anything
Yes.
else? Sorry, anything else?
That's it.
Kamish? Okay.
All
Laura, hi.
right, sure. Hi, good morning, everyone, and good morning to our new board members. So exciting to have you here. My report today is really just basically a welcome, kind of letting you know what we've got going on from a policy standpoint, governance standpoint. There will be a form that you'll sign if you haven't already, acknowledgement of fiduciary duty. So we'll work with Karen on getting you that. Okay. And then board training wise, within your first year of appointment, you complete the ABO training and they have that online. So we'll get you those dates and
Great.
link to that. There are a couple other trainings. We received the City of Albany has their sexual harassment prevention. You probably complete that through another way. If you do, then you can provide us with a certificate. Others have done that too. Yep. So we'll just kind of keep in touch on all that. And then the next phase of governance review for our entire board, Karen and I have been working on figuring out a time frame for that. I think it makes sense now that we would have a quorum to really revisit that. Couple of things are mission statement workshops, if the board is interested in doing that. That's something that our water board has done in the past. So in between your regular meetings, you could have a workshop. We would notice it kind of like we would have to notice it if there's a quorum there. We'd have to notice it like a meeting, but we could figure out how best to do that. And then some additional policies that we'll be working on and getting you drafts for our anti-harassment and complaint form, indemnification, internal controls is something that the water board is also working on right now with Chris and his team on that. Investment policy, procurement policy, which is a little bit interesting for this board because you're not really out there on the market buying things. So we'll tailor it to your needs. And then records management, again, the water board actually just adopted records management policy that we could use or review and adopt for this board.
So these policies are new to the authority.
Yes, yep. It's probably a good time that we get them done.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's my report.
Amazing.
Anybody have any new business? Anything from you, Chris?
There's no financials for this, right? So.
No.
Okay. Then no.
All right, then we will mosey along and wrap this. Okay, so we are going to vote on some resolutions. I believe we have 4 of them today. 3 of which we just discussed. One is our regular $2,500 disbursement to Charity Partners. Okay, so the first is resolution 26-05. It is the resolution authorizing disbursements to the IRS on this Amtech in the amount of $146,768,000. Do I all in favor? Aye. That motion carries. The next 26-06 is the resolution amending certain terms of a supplemental bond resolution dated June 29th, 2023, relating to the Rensselaer Lake Dam safety improvements that Commissioner Simcoe discussed with us. The total amount is on here? No?
Yes, it's the that's Renee.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Commissioner. It is 11,488.
11 million.
11 million.
Oh, good. Great job, guys. I was like, man, that's another comma. $11,488,000. Do I have a motion to a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Carries. Next we have 26-07, a resolution amending certain terms of the supplemental bond resolution dated June 29th, 2023, relating to the Basic Creek Reservoir Dam Safety Improvements Project in the amount of $11,051,000. Do I have a motion to accept this?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Great. And finally, a resolution 26-08, authorizing disbursements to Charity Partners in the amount of $2,500. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We do not need to enter into an executive session. Our next regular meeting is Thursday, June 25th, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. I'm sure we will be made aware of when our public hearing is, so we might see everyone there. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second? Second. All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Motion is, we're adjourned. Great job.
Amazing.
Incredible work.